And welcome back to the City Beautiful Invitational. I am Todd Buono here in the Kramer Family Fieldhouse on the campus of the First Academy here in Orlando, Florida. And we are ready for our second matchup between Mainland High School and Holy Trinity. This is game 2 of the day. The first game featured Dr. Phillips in a victory, down to the wire victory over Masters Academy. It was a back and forth action. At one point, it was a 14-point lead for Dr. Phillips. Masters Academy was able to trim that down, but Dr. Phillips walked out of here with the victory, and they will advance on in the tournament. This next game coming up, as I mentioned, features Mainland and Holy Trinity. Got to see Holy Trinity last week against the First Academy, and also got to see them last year in this tournament, and I expect big things from Holy Trinity this year. There is a lot of firepower on this team. The standout guard, number 4, Drew Nixon, can score in bunches, and he is an exhilarating player to watch dash up and down the court. And then they have the big man inside, Seth Coleman, a 6'5", 195-pound forward, who can do big things. Then they have nice complementary pieces in Drew Nixon, in Preston Milo, number 3, and number 5, James Blackstrain. So a lot of talent here on the Holy Trinity side, and I look forward to seeing what they bring to the table here in the tournament. Let's go down, since I already introduced you to some of Holy Trinity. Let's start there. And I will introduce you to the players for the Tigers. Number 0, Tyrell Harris. Number 1, Jalen Hudgens. Number 2, Javarius Johnson. Number 3, Preston Milo. Number 4, Drew Nixon. Number 5, James Blackstrain. Number 12, Antoine Freeman. Number 13, Davarian Marvine. Number 15, Miles Chapman. And number 21, Seth Coleman. The head coach of the Tigers is Steve Henderson. And now, let's meet the Buccaneers of Mainland High School. 00, Shane Brennan. Number 2, Justin Hill. Number 3, Rodney Roden. Number 4, Taron Keith. Number 5, Jalen Willis. Number 10, Kyle Bowman. Number 11, Jordan Sears. Number 12, Kyle Spence. Number 13, Jonathan Richards. Number 20, Darius Devine. Number 21, Johnny Brown. Number 24, Hunter Ellis. Number 25, Rufus Walker. And number 50, Travis Robinson. The Buccaneers of Mainland are coached by Joe Giddens. So again, as I mentioned, this should be a good one here tonight as Holy Trinity takes on Mainland. And if the first game of the day was any indication, we should be in for a treat. We're now seeing Mainland take the floor as they're announced by the PA announcer here at the Kramer Family Fieldhouse. Again, as I mentioned, this is the second annual City Beautiful Invitational. The tournament will span 4 days and will end on Saturday, the 22nd. Myself and Saul Urena will be here to bring you the call on the games. Right now I'm going at it solo, as my colleague Saul has stepped away from the booth for a bit. He'll be rejoining me later on.
At guard, a 6'1" senior, number 4, Drew Nixon. At guard, a 6'2" sophomore, number 5, James Blackstrain. At guard, a 5'10" junior, number 12, Antoine Freeman.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, Chick-fil-A, for providing us a great lunch. And dinner tonight will be served up by P.F. Chang's. We'd like to thank both of them for sponsoring the tournament. And we are getting ready to get underway here with the jump. It will be Holy Trinity in white and Mainland in the navy blue. Seth Coleman will be jumping it up against Shane Brennan, and he'll have his hands full with Brennan, the big center for Mainland. And we are underway. Mainland wins the tip, and we'll start on offense. Jordan Sears with the ball. They move it around. Shot by Johnny Brown. He misses that, and it is poked away and going the other way by Drew Nixon. Nice dish. And we get the finish by Coleman. So there we go. We talked about it. Nixon to Coleman in the early goings. And they give the Tigers the lead. And there's a turnover. And we're going down the other way with the Tigers again. Nixon to Coleman. And there's a turnover back the other way for Mainland. It's going to be Jordan Sears. He dishes it over. But Teron Keith cannot finish. And there's the first basket of the evening for Antoine Freeman. Holy Trinity has the lead in the early going. Mainland moving the ball around. There's going to be a turnover, and Holy Trinity will take over. It's 4-0. Holy Trinity leading in the first quarter. 6:18 to go. Drew Nixon with the ball. I expect to see a big tournament out of Drew Nixon. Again, an exciting player with a lot of firepower. Preston Milo with the ball on the wing. Nixon hoists up a three. Misses that one. It is rebounded and hauled in by Shane Brennan, who is going to be a big force underneath for Mainland. But there is a turnover that will give the ball back to Holy Trinity. Nixon on the attack, gets it over to Preston Milo, who's dangerous from the outside, misses that one. Brendan is able to get it out, tap it around, and get it out to Teron Keith. And here come the Buccaneers. Johnny Brown with the ball. He gets it up to Teron Keith, who gets it over to Sears. Sears will steer the ship for the Buccaneers. There is a three missed by Keith, and the ball's going to go out of bounds and to Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity maintaining the lead. Here comes Nixon and company. Nixon at the top. They swing it around. They got Preston Milo in the corner if they choose. Nixon puts it on the deck. He finds Milo. Milo kicks it around up to number 12, Antoine Freeman. He misses that, but chases down his own rebound. Preston Milo's got a chance here. He dishes it to Coleman. Coleman goes up, and Coleman will go to the line as he's fouled.
Foul on number 3, RJ Roden, his first personal foul, first team foul.
And there's a big shot from Seth Coleman. So Holy Trinity rolling early out to a 6-point lead. Again, there's a lot of offense on this Tiger team. Mainland is not going to want to find themselves in a hole this game. And there's a nice shot by Jordan Sears to put some points on the board. for the Bucks. Nixon and company down court. Nixon with the ball. He gets it over to Freeman. It's going to go out of bounds off of Freeman, and it'll be Mainland's ball. There's a timeout on the floor. This is game 2 of the City Beautiful Invitational. I am Todd Buono, bringing you the call. As I mentioned, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors. Chick-fil-A for providing us a delicious lunch today. Also, coming up later on this evening, we'll have dinner from P.F. Chang's. I know Sal's looking forward to that. He's not here right now, but I'm sure he'll be back in time for dinner. All right, so back to the action now. 6-2. Tigers leading the Buccaneers. 4:10 to go here in the first. The Bucks on offense. They move it around. Keith with the ball. Keith with the jump shot. And Nixon's going to get dinged for the foul. That'll be Drew's first foul. And we'll get some foul shots for Mainland. Jerron Keith misses the first. And he'll take the second. And he knocks that one down. So cuts the lead in half, 6-3. Coleman misses that shot. It's rebounded. And Coleman misses the dunk. But they're able to get the rebound. Nixon with the ball. Nixon slashes through the paint. Misses that one. And Mainland will get the rebound. That was Rodney Roden coming away with the rebound, I believe. Over to Keith in the corner. Keith misses the three. Sears with the rebound. They get it out to the big man. He kicks it around to Keith again. And Keith knocks down that three. So quickly, we've got ourselves a tie game, 6-6. It's going to be a foul. Jordan Sears picks up his first personal. And Coleman will be fouled and step to the line. That's Roden's second personal foul. Seth Coleman shooting. Knocks that one down. Again, as I mentioned, got to see Holy Trinity a week ago against the First Academy in what was a tight game. But there was a lot of high-powered offense from Holy Trinity. They came away with the win in that game. And again, Drew Nixon, Seth Coleman, big standouts for the Tigers. We saw the same from them last year in the tournament. Coleman misses that one. We're coming down the other way. Tigers with a 1-point lead. And Mainland turns the ball over. That turnover by number 3, Rodney Roden, as he just simply runs out of room. We'll get an inbounds for the Tigers. Nixon with it at the top. He hoists it over to Preston Milo in the corner. Milo puts up the three and knocks it down. Preston Milo gets it going. And that's a good sign for Holy Trinity if Milo gets going early. It is now 10-6, so a 4-point lead now for Holy Trinity. That shot's missed, batted around. Mainland comes away with the rebound, and there's an answer on the three. To cut the game to a 1-point lead. Milo's got it again in the corner, and Preston Milo warming up again. Lead with 2 big threes. Oh, and there's going to be a turnover. And the ball will go back to Holy Trinity. Javarius Johnson with the inbound. He'll go to Drew Nixon. Nixon slashing and dashing. Drew Nixon misses that one, but it's batted around by Seth Coleman. A rebound picked up by Antoine Freeman. Freeman still battling for the ball. And it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a foul on Jordan Spears, actually his second personal foul. That's the 4th team foul. 13-9, Tigers over the Bucks. 1:14 to go in the first. Nixon with the ball. He has a slashing Antoine Freeman, but Freeman isn't able to finish. And Freeman will step to the line. He knocks that one down. As well as the second. So 15-9. Tigers in the lead. They go inside to Johnny Brown, and Johnny Brown finishes with a nice basket there. 51 seconds to go in the first. Nixon with the ball. Gets it around to Coleman. Coleman puts up a three. Seth Coleman with the big three. Point lead for Holy Trinity. Preston Milo picks up his first foul. They go around the key. Justin Hill with the ball, and it's going to be kicked out of bounds by Coleman. James Blackstrain into the game for the Tigers, number 5. You'll see him fronting the ball there. 27 seconds to go in the first. 7-point lead for Holy Trinity. And there's a nice basket by Jordan Sears. Really battled his way through on that one. Drew Nixon battling away on the other side of the court. He misses his shot, and the ball is tied up by Seth Coleman, and I believe that was Johnny Brown. Possession arrow goes to the Tigers, so they will inbound. 9 seconds to go. Coleman with the ball, puts it on the deck. Seth Coleman goes, and it goes for a shot, and it is rejected by Brown. But then Drew Nixon hits a three-pointer to push the lead to 21-13. So great job there by Holy Trinity at the end there. Coleman is rejected in big fashion by Johnny Brown, but heads-up play by Drew Nixon to get the ball and the rebound. We'd also like to thank some more of our sponsors here, so let's thank Anglers Envy for sponsoring today's game between the Bucks and the Tigers. Angler Envy, a proud sponsor of this year's City Beautiful Invitational. So it's been a fast-paced first quarter here. Holy Trinity jumping out to the lead. As I mentioned, there is a lot of offense on this Holy Trinity team. Sometimes it takes them a little bit to warm up. They're off to a good start so far. Preston Milo with 2 big threes, which is definitely helping pace things along for the Tigers. Mainland seemed to hit their stride there a little bit midway through the first period. I guess it was a little bit of a feeling out period. Inserting Johnny Brown into the game was a good move because that's a big body in there. An aggressive Javarius Johnson goes to the basket, and he's fouled. That's the 16th foul for Mainland. Johnson will step to the line.
Checking in for the Buccaneers, number 10, Kyle Bowman. Also in for the Buccaneers, number 3, R.J. Roden.
Knocks down the first. Johnson will attempt his second. And he makes good on both. So he pushes the lead, 23-15. Tigers in early control. Sears with the ball. Jordan Sears with a nice pull-up jumper. Gets knocked to the deck, misses a shot. It is rebounded. That was number 10, Kyle Bowman, in there for the rebound.
Number 21, Seth Coleman, his first personal foul.
Seth Coleman picking up his first personal foul there. It's a third team foul for Holy Trinity. Tyrell Harris, number 0, checks into the game for Holy Trinity. Johnny Brown with a nice play underneath. Take a look at that one again. Hanging around in this one early. Nixon with the ball. Nixon's really yet to get going today, but when he does, you will know it, as will Mainland. They'll try to keep tabs on him. Ball moved around the top by Holy Trinity. Javarius Johnson with it now. Coleman pops up, pass to Coleman. There's going to be a turnover. And we'll be going the other way. (23-17). Sears with the ball for Mainland. He gets it over to Brown. And then Sears with a big basket. Jordan Sears starting to warm up for Mainland. It is now just a 3-point game. Holy Trinity is going to look to get the offensive going. They will go through Drew Nixon. Drew Nixon pulls up for 3. Its foot was on the line, so it'll be a 2. But that was a nice shot. Take a look at that again from Drew. And a nice finish by Teron Keith. Let's take a look at that one as well. Another turnover for Holy Trinity. So Mainland will take back over. 5:45 to go in the half. Mainland battling back. It is now just a 3-point lead for Holy Trinity. A deep 3. That one is missed and rattled around by, I'm not sure if that was Justin Hill or not. Couldn't tell from the angle I was on. Coleman with the ball. Coleman puts it on the deck. I believe that's going to be a travel. It is. It'll be the Buccaneers basketball. And here comes the Buccaneer offense. Teron Keith moving it around. Now in the hands of Jordan Sears. Has been hot early. Oh, and that was broken up by Coleman. Heads up play. And the two number 4s, Nixon and Keith, collide at half court.
Fouls on number 4, Teron Keith, his second personal foul, 17
It's
fouls.
the second personal foul.
To the line, shooting 1 and 1. Number 4, Drew Nixon.
Nixon will step to the line. Nixon misses that one, and it is rebounded by Brown. It's 25-22 here in the second game of the City Beautiful Invitational. Earlier we saw Dr. Phillips defeat Masters Academy.
Tavares Johnson, his first personal foul, 14th foul.
This is game number 2
Number 3, R.J. Roden.
between Holy Trinity and Mainland. R.J. Rowland to the line. He knocks that one down.
Checking for the Tigers, number 3, Preston Milo, number 12, Antoine Freeman. And for the Buccaneers, number 2, Justin Hill.
So we wait the second one. There's some substitutions in.
Also in
Number 13, Jonathan Richards, checks in for Mainland. And that one is missed, but it is rebounded and batted around. Holy Trinity comes away with the ball, and then there will be a travel by Strain. So the ball will stay here with Mainland. 2-point game, 4:50 to go in the half. There's the inbounds, goes up top to Roden. R.J. Roden goes to work. He kicks it over to Sears. Sears up top to Brown, and Brown with the finish inside. Looking pretty. Drew Nixon on the attack. He moves it over. Goes into the hands of Freeman. Freeman to Milo, and Milo's hot today, folks. Preston Milo with another big three-pointer. 28-25. Oh, a nice, pretty shot there by Jordan Sears. He is warming up in big fashion here. It is a 1-point game. Preston Milo misses his first 3, and Mainland has the ball. And they've got a chance to take the lead here for the first time today. Jordan Sears has been hot. He has the ball. He puts it on the deck. He loses his balance. And there's going to be a foul on Strain.
Fouls on number 12, Antoine Freeman.
Or, excuse me, Antoine Freeman. Number 12 charged with that foul. Mainland will inbound from the sideline. It will be Sears with the inbound. He kicks it over to Roden. R.J. Roden working his way around the top. There's a hand check. James Blackstrain. First personal foul. That's a 16 foul for Holy Trinity. Clinging to a 1-point lead here. 3:33 to go in the half. Game 2 of the City Beautiful Invitational here at the Kramer Family Fieldhouse on the campus of the First Academy in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And there's a nice finish by the big man, Johnny Brown, who's really starting to warm up. 29-28. Richards with the first foul. That's the 8th team foul.
Checking in for the Tigers, number 21, Seth Coleman.
Seth Coleman, number 21, back into the game for the Tigers. James Blackstrain will step to the line. He'll look to shoot the first of two. Todd Buono here bringing you the call. I'll be joined later on by Saul Urena. Saul was here for the first game, and he'll be back here in the booth in just a little bit. Tied game, 29-29. Strain attempting his second shot. Misses that one. Ball's batted around, but the rebound and a nice finish by Antoine Freeman. So 3-point swing there for the Tigers, puts them back in the lead, 31-29.
Substitution for the Buccaneers, number 4, Teron Keith.
Teron Keith checking back into the game for the Bucks. Jordan Sears bringing the ball up. Sears moving around. Sears pops and shoots and nails it. Nice little kiss off the glass. Jordan Sears, that's worth taking a little. The standout for Holy Trinity. At some point, you got to figure he's going to get going. But in the meantime, Mainland is pouring it on here. And there's Drew Nixon, just as I called. It's only a matter of time before he gets rolling. There's a nice finish by Nixon. Holy Trinity in control right now. But Mainland is putting up a fight. 2-point game with R.J. Roden at the line. James Blackstrain committing the foul there to put Roden there.
Checking in for the Tigers, number 2, Javarius Johnson.
Javarius Johnson, number 2. The 5'10", 165-pound guard checking in. And that shot is rattled in by Roden. Roden's hit some big shots early for Mainland to keep them in this game. Misses that one, though. And it is rebounded and brought down by Freeman, who's going to push the ball the other way. Preston Milo has it. Milo's hit some big threes. That three rims out by Javarius Johnson. And Mainland with the chance to take the lead here. They move the ball around. It goes to Keith. Keith loses the ball out of bounds, but it will stay with Mainland. Keith to inbound. 1-point game. 2 minutes to go in the half. Keith thinks about it. Puts the ball down, dribbles around. Pulls up for three. And a big shot there by Tyron Keith, putting Mainland in the lead by 2. Drew Nixon will push the ball up the floor. They'll move it around on offense. Preston Milo puts up a 3. And Preston Milo knocks down another 3, and he's been dangerous from the outside tonight. Holy Trinity back in the lead now, 36-35. This is turning into a very fast-paced game. Both teams pushing the ball up and down the court. The big man, Seth Coleman, tries to push it there, loses it, gets it back, and the hoop and the harm. Seth Coleman will step to the line. Like I said, if you have not seen Holy Trinity yet this season, you're going to see a lot of Drew Nixon and a lot of Seth Coleman, but there are some other key pieces that really keep this machine moving. Preston Milo, Antoine Freeman, James Blackstrain, all big contributors for Holy Trinity. That one is missed. And the big man, Johnny Brown, brings it down. A man who can play 3 positions for Mainland. He plays center, forward, and guard. So multi-dimensional big man. And there he is with the ball at the top. He's got some sweet moves as we see him put it down on the floor. There's going to be a travel. We'll go back to Holy Trinity. We await the inbound here. 50 seconds to go. (38-35). Coleman with a big shot. That rattles around. 37 seconds to go. Here comes Mainland. Sears with the ball. Sears has had a big first half. Takes it in against 3 defenders. Not a wise move. The ball gets picked away, but then lost out of bounds. And will stay with Mainland. Sears to inbound. 23 seconds to go. 38-35. Tigers over the Bucks. The multi-dimensional Johnny Brown with the ball. Brings it over the timeline. Has Seth Coleman on him. He kicks it over to Keith, who is fronted by Nixon. Keith puts it on the deck, gets Nixon backstepping, and big physical play, but he misses that shot. They battle for the rebound, and that will bring us to the end of the first half. Holy Trinity with an early lead, 38-35 in this one. It has been a fast-paced, back-and-forth game thus far.
I'm going to go down and get the ladder.
So again, Holy Trinity out to an early lead, 38-35. We are at halftime of Game 2 of the City Beautiful Invitational. It has been a, as I said, fast-paced first half. Drew Nixon and Seth Coleman got going for Holy Trinity, along with Preston Milo. Preston Milo with some big threes. And then on the other side, it's been a lot of Taron Keith, Jordan Sears, and Johnny Brown for Mainland. So we're going to step away for just a few minutes here, and then we'll be back with the second half of action. All right, welcome back to the second half of action here at the City Beautiful Invitational. Game number 2 between Holy Trinity and Mainland High School. Todd Buono here bringing you the call from the Kramer Family Fieldhouse on the campus of the First Academy here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Game number 1 today featured Dr. Phillips knocking off Masters Academy in what was a tight game. And we've got a tight one here as well, as Holy Trinity is clinging to a lead here, 3-point lead, 38-35. As we get ready here for the second half of action. I'd like to go ahead and quickly thank some of our sponsors for tonight. First of all, we'd like to thank our title sponsor, Orlando Health. And we'd also like to thank P.F. Chang's. They'll be providing us with dinner tonight. So thank you to P.F. Chang's for their sponsorship. Also, Chick-fil-A was kind enough to provide lunch to us today, so we appreciate Chick-fil-A. And Angler's Envy, also another sponsor of today's game. So we'd like to thank all of our sponsors here, the City Beautiful Invitational. We sincerely appreciate your contributions to this year's tournament. Both teams back on the floor now. Should be an interesting second half here. Drew Nixon has yet to get going for Holy Trinity. You got to think at some point he's going to find his opportunities and get going. I think a guy to watch on the Mainland side is Johnny Brown, a multi-dimensional player. He's a big man, but he can pretty much do it all. He's listed as a center, guard, and forward, and he showed us some of that dexterity early on there in the first half. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does here in the second half. So we go ahead and take a look at the Mainland side there, getting some warm-ups in. I'm really loving these shot clock cameras that we have at our disposal this year. This is a fun broadcast for us. Got about 5 different camera angles, which is a big improvement from the one that we had last year. We are definitely committed to bringing you the most friendliest broadcast that we can. Provide you as many angles and as many shots of the action as we can. We appreciate you joining us here on the live stream. Let's take another look here at the beautiful Kramer Family Fieldhouse on the campus of the First Academy, home to the TFA Royals. We'll see them a little bit later on today. Looking forward to see what Alex Shields and company has in store for this year's tournament as the host team. We get ready to get things started here. Fresh 8 minutes on the clock, and Drew Nixon with the ball. And so here we go, second half underway. Preston Milo, big first half, knocking down a lot of threes. Again, a lot of weapons here on this Holy Trinity offense. Coleman with the rebound, battles it around. Ball's knocked loose. Nixon with it. Nixon can't finish. Coleman with it again. It's knocked around. A lot of stick-to-itiveness there by Holy Trinity. Battling some big men underneath for Mainland. Mainland not making anything easy under the basket. And that's what you have to do with a team like Holy Trinity. You've got to make them go in and essentially earn it. You got to bang them around. You got to be physical. They're a quick team, and you want to play them physically. Coleman misses the first. I'll go ahead and attempt this second. And he knocks that one down. So here we go. Mainland with the ball. Jordan Sears moving it around. Gets it up top to Roden. R.J. Roden with a big first half. And another big three-pointer for Teron Keith, who started to warm up there towards the end of the second half, or excuse me, end of the first half. And he is cooking now for Mainland. Traveling violation. That one's going to go against Coleman. Tigers with a 1-point lead over the Bucks, 39-38. 6:54 to go in the third. Mainland moving the ball around. Be inbounded from the sideline. Keith to Brown. Keith missed that one. Going to be a foul underneath.
Fouls on number 0, Shane Brennan, his second personal foul.
Shane Brennan picks up his second personal foul. It's a big body underneath there for Mainland. Nixon with the ball. Gets it over to Preston Milo. Back to Nixon. Almost a travel there by Nixon. Got away with it. Milo inside to Coleman. They've got Nixon on the wing. Nixon puts it on the deck. He's double teamed. Big body Brennan jumps out at him. And a nice way to contain Drew Nixon there. Nice defense by Maitland. Or excuse me, by Mainland. Keith with the ball. He gets it over to Brennan. Brennan back over to Keith. We've got Sears on the wing if they choose. They go to Brown inside. It's batted around. Brown's able to reel it in. He's got a cutting Sears, but he goes to Keith instead. Keith misses that three. Sears taps it around. He's going to go out of bounds. Preston Milo tries to save it. He saves it, but to the other team. Brown gets it. Brown takes it to the hoop, and there's going to be an offensive foul against Brown.
Offensive foul, number 21, Johnny Brown, his first personal foul.
Johnny Brown picks up his first personal foul. So he's done a good job thus far staying out of foul trouble for the Buccaneers. Conversation between Seth Coleman and the official. It's been a stop and play. I believe they have a wet spot on the floor that's going to need to be cleaned up. Drew Nixon goes ahead and does the honors there. Temporary break in the action. And we're back to play. Coleman to inbound. Coleman to Nixon. Goes to Freeman. Freeman misses that shot. Brown gets the rebound. And the foul is going to go against, can't tell if it's going to go against Brown or Brennan. Ooh, and the Preston Milo has his inbounds pass picked off by number 3, R.J. Roden. Bucks with a chance to take the lead. 5 minutes to go in the third. 1-point lead for the Tigers. That shot's missed. Keith is going to go for the rebound. I believe he's going to be fouled by Freeman. Possibly not. The ball may have just been knocked out of bounds by Freeman. Keith with the ball up at the top. Keith moving it around. Gets it inside to Brennan. He powers inside. The big man with the big move. And the basket. Freeman with the foul. Brennan will step to the basket.
First team foul. Count the basket to the line. Shooting one.
Gives the Bucks the lead. I believe that is their first lead of the game. And he converts. So 3-point play by the big man, the old-fashioned way. Makes it 41-39. Nixon with the ball. Gets it into Coleman. Coleman up and scores in a Dominique Wilkin-esque maneuver. Let's take a look at that one again. Got ourselves a tie game now. And Coleman at the line. And Coleman knocks that one down. So he converts a 3-point play the old-fashioned way and gives his team a 1-point lead. 42-41. And here we come the other way. There's a steal. And Coleman scores. Seth Coleman with the basket. 44-41 now. 3-point lead. With 4 minutes to go in the third. Keith with the ball. Keith with the nice up and under. It rattles around. Doesn't fall for him, though. But a big rebound. And an out-of-control Jordan Sears misses that shot. And Holy Trinity runs down the other way. A shot is missed by James Blackstrain. There's going to be a foul on Drew Nixon, a push, and that's the second on Nixon. Brown to inbound for Mainland. Here comes Keith. Teron Keith has had a good game. Brown, the big man with the range. Pretty, Johnny. 4. Nixon with the ball. Nixon's been quiet this game. You got to think at some point he's going to try to get himself going. Oh, and there's going to be a turnover off of Preston Milo. Jordan Sears with the ball for the Bucks. Gets it into the corner. That three is missed. Drew Nixon skies for the rebound. He loses it, though, and Johnny Brown, Johnny on the spot, dumps in another 2 for Mainland, giving them a 2-point lead, 46-44. Mainland has done a great job of hanging around with Holy Trinity. A good defensive effort as well. We'd like to thank Orlando Health for being the title sponsor of this year's City Beautiful Invitational, the second annual tournament here at the Kramer Family Fieldhouse on the campus of the First Academy here in Orlando, Florida. We'd like to also thank everybody who's joining us on the live stream today. This is game number 2 of 6 that we'll be bringing you. So we've got 4 more to go after this. And our first 2 games have been close ones. We are currently in a 2-point affair here with just a little bit to go here in the third quarter. 46-44. Mainland has snatched the lead from Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity will look to tie it up here. But there is another turnover, and Johnny Brown with the ball. He's been all over today for the Bucks. And there's Teron Keith with the up and under do-si-do to make it a 4-point lead. A lot of defensive pressure now. R.J. Roden picks up his 4th personal foul, so you know he's going to go to the bench for a spell. 2:30 to go in the third period. 4-point lead for the Bucks. Nixon with a chance. Shorts that one. And here comes Jordan Sears. Gets it over to Keith, who plants and misses. Freeman with the rebound. Nixon behind the back. Nice play. Nixon drives, misses that one. Nixon's had an off night thus far. Seth Coleman is bodied underneath. And he's going to go to the deck. I believe Mainland has the recipe here for playing Holy Trinity. They're playing them very physical. You see Coleman at the line there, kind of hunched over, trying to recompose himself there. It's been a physical battle underneath for him. 48-44. Coleman will see if he can cut into that lead. Coleman knocks down the first. See if Seth can make good on the second. And he does. So it's now a 2-point game. (46-48). Another turnover. Could bode well for Holy Trinity. Justin Hill picking up his first personal foul. 7th team foul for the Buccaneers. Jalen Willis, number 5, checks into the game for the Bucks. And that shot is made by Antoine Freeman. Freeman now with the second. He knocks that one down. Sears with the ball. He goes to work, and he makes an errant pass. Oh, and there's a steal. And a nice finish by Jalen Willis, who just checked into the game. Let's take a look at that one again. Jalen Willis making an impact. Nixon with a big rebound. Nixon goes up strong. Got a big Johnny Brown underneath. And it's going to go the other way for Mainland. There's a chance to add to this lead. Sears goes up. And there's going to be a blocking foul. So that will go against Holy Trinity. Javarius Johnson with his second foul. Jordan Sears to the line. Makes the first. (51-48). 1:19 to go in the third. And he makes the second. Here comes Seth Coleman. And Seth Coleman will go to the line. It's the 8th team foul. Johnny Brown picks up his third. I suspect that Brown will go to the bench for a spell here. I believe I see Kyle Spence at the table, so he'll come into the game. Or excuse me, Jonathan Richards will come in for Johnny Brown, number 13. Here comes Coleman second. And it's good. So it's a 2-point game. 52-50. That three is offline. Battle for the ball. It's going to be Nixon and Jonathan Richards. It's a jump ball, and the possession arrow will go to the Tigers. Preston Milo with the ball. It's kicked over to Javarius Johnson. Johnson to Nixon. Nixon hits a big three. So there you go. I told you it was just a matter of time. Drew Nixon was going to start to get going. We'll see if he can build on this now, on what's been a quiet game for him offensively. 34 seconds to go in the third. Keith against Nixon, the two fours working on each other. Mainland in the dark black, Holy Trinity in the white, and a big three-pointer. Jalen Willis with a big three from the corner to give Mainland a 2-point lead. But Freeman is found underneath and missed. Great look. But Freeman wasn't able to finish. And that shot is missed at the buzzer. So at the end of the third, it is Mainland 55, Holy Trinity 53. It's been a great battle so far today, back and forth. We're going to go to the fourth quarter with it being just a 2-point game. Holy Trinity led this game early, but Mainland came out a different team here in the second half and has clawed back into this tight game and taken the lead. It's been a physical game for Mainland. They played the Holy Trinity very physical underneath there, making them earn everything. Holy Trinity can be a finesse team with a lot of offense. And Seth Coleman and company are getting banged around on the inside, and they're having to really earn those inside baskets. And for Drew Nixon, it's been a game of containment for him. Mainland has done a great job so far of keeping him contained and not really letting him find his shot. He's hit a couple big shots, but not what you'd expect. And again, this is really interesting because both of these teams, I think, could have the potential to make a deep run in this tournament. So this game is pivotally important. So back to the action. A deep three by Keith, and that's missed. Nixon comes away with the rebound. They've got an outlet, but it's picked off. Heady defensive play by Jordan Sears with the hustle to get back and pick that play off. Sears sets up now. Rolling around. Nice no-look pass. Beautiful play. Got to look at that again. Freeman goes in hard offensively, and he's going to be called for the foul. Bucks with a 4-point lead. 57-53 over the Tigers. Jordan Sears bringing the ball up for the Bucks. Sears working around, gets it over to Johnny Brown, who's back in the game and makes an immediate impact. Johnny Brown raining threes. This could be a pivotal spot here for Holy Trinity. Mainland's got momentum. Coleman with the ball on the wing, puts it on the deck. Almost lost it. Freeman with it. He'll move around. Nixon is trapped up in the corner, trying to break free. The aforementioned Nixon with the ball now. Drew Nixon. Coleman. Coleman with a deep three. Coleman! Seth Coleman answers with a big three. And that was huge for Holy Trinity to kind of stem the momentum that Mainland was beginning to build. 60-56. 6:14 to go into the game. Antoine Freeman just picked up his 4th personal foul. That's the 15th foul for the Tigers. Javarius Johnson, number 2, checking into the game for Holy Trinity. And we get the inbound. Goes in the backcourt to Jordan Sears. Sears has been big for the Buccaneers tonight. He goes to work on Javarius Johnson. That shot's missed. And there's going to be a foul. And we'll come down the other way. Jonathan Richards, number 13, picking up the foul for Mainland. That's a 9th team foul. Richards came into this game just a few moments ago and made a big impact, hit some big shots, including a big 3. Preston Milo to the line. Preston Milo misses. Johnny Brown with the rebound. Johnny Brown with the ball. Sears now at the top of the key, goes to work. Sears drives in, pivots around, finds Johnny Brown on a nice pass. Brown can't finish as he's fouled. I think they're going to say that was on the floor. Thought he was in the act of shooting, but I think they're going to say that's on. Nope, he will go to the line.
Third personal. 6th team foul to the line, shooting 2, number 21, Johnny Brown.
60-56. Johnny Brown misses that one. Oh, misses both. So that was a big swing here. Let's see what happens. The outlet, Coleman has it. Coleman pulls up for a 3. That one rattles out. And we're going back the other way. Sears with the ball and a little hop in his step. He's got to be feeling good about the game he's had here tonight. Gets it over to Keith, who's also had a big game. Keith, Sears, and Brown, all big games for the Buccaneers tonight. And that's going to go out of bounds and to Holy Trinity. Still a 4-point game, 5 minutes to go. Seth Coleman gets it up to Johnson. To Blackstrain in the corner, to Preston Milo, but it's knocked away by Sears on a heady defensive play. Milo's able to reel it in. He goes to the corner. Johnson's got a 3, lines it up, misses. Drew Nixon chases down the rebound. Nixon's got it in the corner, looking for some help. Spacing is a little bunched up there. Nixon gets his pocket picked by Keith with a heady defensive play, who peeled off of Preston Milo to pick Nixon's pocket. And there's going to be a foul on Blackstrain, I believe.
Foul number 5, James Blackstrain, his 4th personal foul, 7th team foul. Checking in for the Buccaneers.
So Keith will go to the line.
Darius Devine to the line.
Darius Devine, the guard, number 20, checks in for Mainland.
Number 12, Antoine Freeman.
Antoine Freeman, also a guard, number 12, for Holy Trinity, checking in. Keith knocks down, or Keith misses the first, actually. Coleman gets it. Outlets to Nixon. Nixon going to work. To Coleman. Coleman drives inside, gets it over to Freeman. And there's a nice finish by Keith. Teron tries to battle it in, but again, gets banged around by Brown, although that time Brown picks up another foul. That's his 4th personal, so he's got to be careful now. 4 minutes to go in the game. Coleman to the line. Knocks down the first. And makes good on the second. So Seth Coleman good from the line. Cuts this down to a 4-point lead with 4 to go in the game. Jordan Sears. Oh, you got to applaud that defensive effort, though. Antoine Freeman just picks up his 5th personal foul, but God, you gotta love the defensive effort there. I thought he got ball, but apparently he must have gotten some of Sears. But as a coach, I would take that defensive effort any day. Sears to the line. 62 to 48. Or excuse me, 62 to 58. 63 to 58 now. Sears attempting his second. And he knocks down that one. So 64 to 58 now.
Substitution for the Bucks, number 2, Justin Hill.
Justin Hill into the game for the Bucks. And we're going to get a timeout. Holy Trinity timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout. 64 to 58.
Don't forget to visit the concession stand located in the Greater Rangeley Fieldhouse lobby for your food and beverage needs throughout the week. The concession stand has Coca-Cola products, hot dogs.
This is game number 2 of 6 today. The City Beautiful Invitational. Todd Bono bringing you the call. Saul Urena was with me for game 1, which featured Dr. Phillips over at Masters Academy. Saul will be back a little bit later on and join me here in the booth. .352 to go in this tight affair. Holy Trinity's got to look to find the basket somehow. They go inside to Coleman. Coleman up and good. So Coleman with the hoop and the harm will now go to the line and see if he can make him pay.
Foul number 13, Jonathan Richard is 3rd. Count the basket to the line to the and one. Number 21, Seth Coleman.
4-point game with Coleman at the line to add to it. Cutting into that lead. So Coleman knocks it down, and it's now a 3-point game. Ball will be inbounded from the sideline. The big man, Johnny Brown. Gets it over to Keith. Keith working it around. Keith with Coleman. He's got the mismatch, goes to the corner to Brown. Brown with a 3, misses that one. Nixon gets knocked to the deck going for the rebound, and that should be Holy Trinity ball.
Fouls on number 13, Jonathan Richard, his 4th personal foul.
So we will switch ends of the court now.
For the Tigers, number 4, Drew Nixon.
Nixon, who's had a pedestrian night offensively compared to his usual. Step to the line. Misses that one. He'll try to shake it off. Make this second one to cut it to a 2-point game at least.
Returning for the Bucks, number 10, Kyle Bowman.
And he rattles that one in. So here comes Mainland. And Justin Hill with the basket, so pushing the lead out to a 4-point lead again. 66-62. Coleman inside, misses that one. Coleman up again, and Coleman with the stick-to-itiveness. Makes it a 2-point game. 64-66. Sears with the ball. And we're going to get a timeout.
Full timeout.
It's a full timeout.
And today's dinner sponsor for our coaches and officials hospitality room is PFJ. Please visit their Millennium location for great service and convenience together. PFJ.
66-64.
Invitational and the First Academy.
Mainland trying to cling to this lead. We've had 2 great games thus far today. Both have gone down to the wire. Don't know how great that's going to be for my voice by the end of the day, but 2 great games. That's what you can expect from this City Beautiful Invitational. You're going to see the best basketball, the best high school basketball in the area. And these first 2 games have proved that. So here we go. Back to the action. .22 to go. Johnny Brown with the ball. He gets it up and over to Keith. Keith working. Keith to Sears. Sears goes on the move. Hill with the ball. Hill gets it back to Keith. Keith with Coleman on him. He can work on the mismatch. James Blackstrain does a great job popping out on defense. So now it's Sears with Johnson on him. And that's batted around. And Johnny Brown with a big shot there to make it a 4-point lead. There's a shot missed, but Coleman trying to stick with it.
Foul number 13, Jonathan Richard, his 5th personal foul. Checking in for the Bucks, number 10, Kyle Bowman. To the line, shooting 2, number 21, Seth Bowman.
So Coleman to the line. He's got the clock stopped. He can look to cut into the lead. Coleman knocks down that one. So Coleman knocks down both and makes it a 2-point game. 68-66. 1:34 to go in the 4th. Keith with the ball. Going to work on Johnson. Johnson with good defense. Preston Milo steps out. He'll look to contain Bowman. Sears over to Johnny Brown. Johnny Brown's had a big game. Sears underneath and the finish. Let's take a look back at that one. Four. 70-66, 105 to go. And he'll go to the line looking to add to it. Sears has been big tonight. Johnson puts up a shot, misses it. Blackstream battles for the ball with Sears underneath. Coleman comes away with it. The big man powers it up, and man, Seth Coleman, it's been a rough night for him physically inside, but he continues to battle away. And Seth Coleman now step to the line for 2 big free throws. It's been a really physical night for him inside between the big man Shane Brennan and Johnny Brown. They've had to earn everything inside. But Seth Coleman has kept them in this game. As I mentioned, it's been a somewhat pedestrian night for Drew Nixon, not his normal numbers. He's played well, but has not been explosive offensively as you'd expect. And Coleman knocks that one down. 2-point game. And let's see, is that going to go against Blackstream?
Foul number 5, James Blackstream. His 5th personal foul.
That's Blackstream's 5th, so he will foul out of the game.
Returning for the Tigers, number 0, Tyrell Harris to the line.
It looks like Justin Hill will also check in. Keith to the line. Again, it's been a lot of Keith, Sears, and Brown for Mainland. That one rattles around and out. 40 seconds to go. This is a tough choice here. Drew Nixon has struggled a bit here tonight, but you would think he might be the go-to guy here. If I'm trying to XO this, if I'm the coach of Holy Trinity, I think I make a scenario where the ball's in Nixon's hand and he can make the choice. He can either drive or he can hope to find an open Preston Milo, who's also hit about 4 or 5 threes here tonight, on the wing. I think that's what I would go with if I were here. You have a chance to tie or win, but you put it in the hands of your best player, which has got to be Drew Nixon, and he can make the decision to shoot or pass. And if he passes, hopefully it's to an open Preston Milo who can knock down a 3, or at least a game-tying 2. So again, here we go, 45 seconds. Nixon with the ball, as you would expect. He will go to work. There's the screen, he works around it. Preston Milo for 3. Oh, he misses it, but that's the play that you had to go with if you're Holy Trinity. That's what you would want to draw up, and that's what they did execute there. They were lucky. I was actually kind of expecting Johnny Brown, who's got tremendous height and length, to pop out on Drew Nixon there. But he didn't, and they found an open Preston Milo who just came up a little bit short, and Sears will go to the line looking to ice this one. Sears makes the first. Sears attempting the second. He knocks it down. So we've got a 4-point game. 29 seconds. If you're Holy Trinity, I think you look for a quick 2 and send Mainland back to the line. Let's see what they go with here. Nixon with the ball. He is definitely pushing. He's pushing all the way. Drew Nixon all the way to the hoop. We'll get a timeout here. It has been 2 great games thus far today. Both have gone down to the wire. Here at the City Beautiful Invitational, I am Todd Buono, delivering the action here. I can now welcome back into the booth Saul Urena, who stepped away for a little bit. He's missed another dandy, following up our first game between Dr. Phillips and Masters Academy. As you can see, the action hasn't stopped. So
I came back.
73 to 71 here.
When I walked in, it was actually tied. And then and I'm like, oh, great, I missed another good one. But no, it's funny. Preston Milo is back after we saw him tear it up last year.
Yep.
And that's a familiar name, and it's good to see that. But you're right, he did come up short on that 3. And
he's had a big game here tonight. Beautiful outlet pass. And Sears misses, but there's the foul. And Terrell Harris will step to the line. Oh, excuse me, Terrell Harris with the foul. Sears will step to the line. Let's see what he does here. He missed that shot. It was such a long outlet pass that not really a lot of time ran off the clock. So we'll see if this plays in the favor.
It was a perfect pass. That was great.
Knocks down the first. Not necessarily what Holy Trinity wants to see. This one could be crucial. Sears knocks them both down. So it's a 4-point lead again. If you're Holy Trinity, you're going to have to push here. I think you're going to draw up the same play that we just saw before. A full court dash by Drew Nixon. Drew has to be careful, though, to compose himself and not go too fast, where he either A, loses his footing, or B, causes an offensive foul. This has been interesting. I expected Holy Trinity to make a bit of a run in this tournament, so I'll say this is I don't want to necessarily say it's a surprise because this is a good mainland team as well. But it's a bit interesting to see Holy Trinity in this spot this early in the tournament. Again, though, the offense, they've tried tonight, but it's been physically punishing for them inside. And Mainland really had the right recipe for what you do with a finesse team. You bang them around.
Well, I mean, looking at number 0 there on their team for Mainland.
That 3 rattles out, and that might have been the last-ditch hope.
I mean, these guys, there's some big boys out there on the floor.
Yeah. So that's the 3rd personal for Seth.
At the line for the Buccaneers, number 4, Teron Keith.
He knocks that one down, pushes the lead up. It's now a 5-point game. And he makes them both. So 6-point game. Not a whole lot here that Holy Trinity can do except maybe a quick 3. Drew Nixon tries for it, misses it. That's going to be no good. Brennan wraps it up, and that's going to do it for Mainland. They're going to come away with the victory, 77 to 71 in the second game here, the City Beautiful Invitational. And boy, if the first 2 games are any indication of how this tournament is going to go, Saul, we are in for it, and my voice is in for it.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I came, I came back in and saw the score, and it's these teams came out, they came ready to play, and I guess the difference from last year that I've noticed, they're putting up a lot more points this year, these first couple games, and the teams that are in the lead coming down in the fourth quarter are learning to close these games out.
Yes.
So it's so far super impressed, and I mean, I'm loving it. These kids are playing their hearts out.
All right, so we are going to step away for a few moments, and we'll be back with game number 3 of the City Beautiful Invitational in just a little bit.